Okay, here with Coach Limongi from Omaha Westside, previewing the Class A state football championship game. Coach, thanks for your time. You guys, defensively in the playoffs have been lights out. You've given up 6 points. What's gone into that? How have you been so good defensively?
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to the coordinators, Damon Benning, Jeremy Queen. They put together a great plan, a great system. Our kids love to play defense. They love to run around and be physical, and they've gotten better every week, which is what we want to do, not only on defense, but as a team. And, the scheme fits our kids. They're fast and they're physical, and they like to meet at the ball. So anytime you have 11 guys plus a couple others that like to do those sorts of things, usually you're going to have pretty good defense, and we're way excited about them.
You guys clearly have been to the state championship game, so none of that is new. As far as it's a little different. The introductions of every player, and it just takes some time. That comfortability, I guess, is important. Maybe.
I think so, a little bit. You're playing in the big stadium. The more you've been there, the better you're kind of accustomed to it. There's a different locker room. There's just, it's a little bit more hoopla. You get introduced. You're playing in, that seems like big Coliseum type thing. You're on display, and there's just a lot more build up to it. I remember the first time I went in 2011 with Burke, it was kind of awestruck there for a little bit. So once you get going a little bit and you kind of understand that it's just another football game, that kind of wears off, and you just play. So, but at first it's a lot.
Your group of seniors have lost 2 games.
They've lost 2 games. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I guess talk about this group of seniors that you have and just what they've accomplished so far.
Yeah, they're a great group. There's, I think, about 28 of them, very close knit, get along off the field. They kid around with each other, but they also push each other. They're very competitive, and they're high character kids. They're all good in the classroom. They love to play football, and they love to play football together. So they just have a little something extra that you just don't see a lot. They're used to winning. They're used to being successful. And the lights come on, they're usually ready for it. So they're just great to be around. It's bittersweet. We only have 7 days left with them. We kind of wanted our goal was to play as long as we possibly could, just so we could be together and be with this group. So they're special, and they're going to be sadly missed.
One senior, I guess, that doesn't get overshadowed, but I feel like doesn't get talked about maybe enough is Jamez Ross. His senior year has been phenomenal after what many, maybe people like me, have considered a little bit of a down junior year. He's rebounded really well and played really well for you guys, particularly in the last, 5-6 weeks here.
Yeah, he really had a great offseason. We'll start with that. Lost some weight a little bit. He didn't lose much, but probably 10, 12 pounds. Became a fanatic in the weight room. Got stronger, got faster, never missed a day. He was very hungry to have a successful year. I wouldn't say he had a bad year, he had a good year, but he wasn't quite happy with it, and he really wanted to come back a senior year and make an impact and help the team wherever he can, and he did. He's healthy this year, loves to play, he loves to carry the ball, he likes to catch the ball out of the backfield. He just wants to be on the field contributing, and he's been a special back for us this year. And he's what we expected he would be, somebody we love to get the ball to, and whether it's handing off or out of the backfield, and he's been impactful.
Turning the tables now to Elkhorn South, they have a pretty good back that can do a lot of different things. What have you seen from just Elkhorn South, and I guess maybe their resolve, even from the semifinal win that they just had? That's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, they're a good team. They have talent, great depth, good size. They're a very long team. They're almost like they got a lot of post guys. It seems like they play in the paint. They could move, and they're very well coached. And they've had a great year. They without question will be the best team we've played. And they're coming off a great win in the semis, and they don't have weaknesses. Like, they're solid across the board. They have playmakers, so it's going to be a great challenge for us. We're excited to play them, and it should be a great game.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. We will see you in the Class A state championship game. Okay, here with Coach Guy Rosenberg from Elkhorn South. Coach, You're in another state championship game. Pretty good problem to have.
Well, just really proud of our players and our coaches and just what's been built over the years, not only by this year's current group, but by the players that were here before that established the tradition and the culture. And you're right. I think this is the fourth time that we've been in the championship game in the last 9 years between Class B and 2 in Class B and 2 in Class A. So it's a great place to be. It's great to still be practicing football, especially on such nice days out there. We've got that 60-degree weather. It's nice to be out there and turn on the lights and keep practicing some football.
You know, one of the championship games was not in Memorial Stadium, but you're used to being there. It's a different thing because they do the long introductions and they do the extra stuff. How have you prepared your guys just for that pregame stuff?
Well, it's nice in some ways too, even just for the preparation of playing the game on a Tuesday as opposed to a Friday, that we have a good formula that we didn't get a chance to use in 2020 since the game got moved up, but have a good plan that's set up just for the way to structure our practices and get everything we need, but while keeping the players fresh. And you're right. I think that's a key thing too, keeping them fresh on the day of the actual game. On there, you're right that there's longer introductions, there's more downtime. So I think it's just building time into the schedule there. And we really work a lot over the course of the year about focusing and being in the moment. And I think it really helps there. And strangely enough, this is something John Backus, an assistant coach up at Elkhorn High, that I have this in my notes, and I mentioned it to our coaches today too, that you'd think that it would be easy to hear in a stadium with 85,000 empty seats in it, but just the way that it is dynamically, it's really tough to communicate with the players out there on the field when the game is going on. So I think it's all those little things that does help from having been there before. Of, hey, you're playing on college hashes, that the goalposts are different from being college goalposts. So all those little factors that aren't a huge deal, but I think any little edge that we can get, we want to give to our players.
Coach, I don't know if it matters for your kicker though.
Well, I'll tell you, Brody
Parks has been kicking it pretty well.
Well, that was a huge kick on last Friday night there against Millard South. And I saw in there that I knew that they'd been playing great defense over there at Millard South, but I wasn't aware that was the first points that they had allowed in several games. And we really needed it at the time, as we talked in the post game on that night, that our defense has been playing so great. Our special teams had been so outstanding. We'd been scuffling a little bit on offense. And that was really just the positive spark we needed going into half. And then we were able to get things going in the second half. And so it was a great night at the ballpark.
I want to give you an opportunity to talk about Madden Riggs. You lose Carson Rauner to pretty, bad injury.
Right.
And Riggs had to step up in a little before his time, right? Because you're counting on Carson being the guy this year, and he's such a great leader. And those two and that dynamic, and Carson's still there and kind of a coach a little bit and helping Madden out. But Madden's really stepped up a little bit here.
Right. Well, Madden has done an amazing job, because you're right that Carson Rauner was clearly our starter this year, going into the year and as the year went along. And Madden was always working hard behind the scenes and perfecting his craft, but the job was thrust upon him real suddenly. I think too that, Carson has done everything that he can to help out. I know at different points that he wasn't able to be there last Friday night because he was doing some rehab, but even being on the sideline and watching film with Madden as the game is going along. And Madden also comes into my room a couple times a week during the mornings, and we go through things together. So just Madden's a guy that takes a great deal of pride in developing himself as a quarterback. And I think that really knows that he owes it to his teammates to play well. And he has done that. He takes that very seriously. He's an excellent leader. And again, that he has stepped in and taken great care of the football and led and been very durable, and just extremely appreciative of him and the courage that he's shown and the hard work that he's put in behind the scenes. So I think that's something that's easy to forget about for fans going to the game, that these guys are working hard a lot more than just what people see out there for 2-3 hours on a Friday night. So Madden has put in his time, and he's getting rewarded for his hard work. And you're right that his time there under the lights has come sooner than maybe he expected, and he's been ready for it.
Westside obviously proposes is a huge challenge, right? Defensively, they're great. They've given up 6 points in the playoffs. They've scored a ton. They shut people out.
Right.
You guys are the clear underdog. What kind of challenges does Westside, I guess, afford you guys in this game?
Well, they're just, as you mentioned, they're extremely efficient, very well coached, very talented, and they play well together and they play hard. So we're definitely going to have to bring our best game that's there. I mean, we need to be very efficient too. And I'm just excited, as we talked earlier about, our defense has been playing at a high level. We haven't been given very many points up either. Mm-hmm. Dylan Kingston had that pick 6 on last Friday night, but also an outstanding punter. Brody Parks, he's a guy that's got great range, and we've got, Henry Prohaska as a snapper, Luke Hoskinson as a holder. We feel like we've got that. And as you mentioned too, that Madden has really been coming on at quarterback, and we've got some great running backs with Bosquet and Shanahan and Sutko, and a strong offensive line that's up there in front of them. So again, we're just going to prepare ourselves for there. We're going to go out and play our best game. And we're excited. I mean, that's why they play the games. I mean, I think there's been many times over the years where things have been projected, but hey, you got to go out and play the games. I'm sure that people probably didn't give us much of a chance going into the Millard South game last week either. So just there's no guys I'd rather go into the game with than our guys, and I'm real excited about the product we're going to be able to put on the field on next Tuesday night.
Yeah, you were the clear underdog last week too. So
right.
Yeah. All right, Coach. We will see you Tuesday night then.
That sounds great. Thanks, Mike.